West Ham still haven't signed a player, but the rumours are flooding in now with big links to Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay and Conor Gallagher, and also reports suggesting that James Ward-Prowse is close. But these links to these players make me wonder, was there any point in bringing in Tim Steidten? I really am questioning that right now, because I'm looking at, again, I try and take everything with a pinch of salt, right? But let's say these reports, there's some truth to them, right? We're pushing for Scott McTominay, right? He's going to cost around 40 million. Harry Maguire, around 50 million. Conor Gallagher, around 50 million. These players are massively overpriced, and they're not overpriced like Declan Rice was overpriced. We didn't want to sell Declan Rice. Chelsea and Man United want to offload these players. They want them out of the club. So I don't see why we should pay these exorbitant prices for decent players. And listen, I think all three of them would be decent. I think they would fit into the way that Moyes wants to play. And I think they're decent players. I think Scott McTominay, there's a good player in there, no doubt. Conor Gallagher, good player, and he had a good season at Palace. Yeah, struggled at Chelsea. Harry Maguire, he's a different player for England. I think he would suit Moyes down to a T. But are these players the difference makers? Are they going to take us back up to where we want to be? And I look at it, and I see that David Moyes has 1 year left on his contract. Right, so what's after David Moyes? Because if he's spending a massive portion of money on these players, right, 50 mil on Gallagher and another 50 mil, basically the Rice money, say, on Gallagher and Maguire, right, or McTominay and Maguire, for example, spending all that money on those two players, the next manager that comes in, and we hope it's a more progressive, forward-thinking manager, has to come in now, and he's got these players and probably not too much money to spend. We are on the FFP watch list. So that is a big worry to me. And Tim Steidten, we bring him in, a lot of excitement, him coming in, having a director of football who's got a good track record of discovering players, actually coming in now and being able to scout talent. No more fucking Jack Sullivan and David Sullivan recommending players to their dad because they were good on Football Manager and all that crap that we used to do, or just players that Moyes likes. It's like, yeah, let's really go out there and identify some top talent that can improve this team. But it seems to be that Moyes wants to focus on Premier League proven players. And listen, I don't argue with that too much. Premier League proven players, yeah, if you can get them in, you know what they're capable of. They know the league. That's all well and good. But they come with Premier League proven premiums, right? Big money you're having to spend for these players. And when I look at these players, for that sort of money, if I'm getting like Premier League proven players, right? When I think like a Nautovic, yeah, when you sign in a Nautovic that's at a club, that's in and around where you are, sort of a bit below West Ham, or not challenging Europe, or sort of struggling, or wants to make a move, and you sign them and you go, yes, that's a quality player. Ivan Toney is one of those. Maddison, those types of players. Even I think Tielemans is a quality signing for Newcastle. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at those players that were at those clubs that sort of bit less money than West Ham, bit lower down, you sign like their best player, it's still a risk. We talk about a risk signing players from Europe. It's still a risk signing players that have been in bad form for bigger clubs. It's a huge risk. Jesse Lingard worked out for one season, but didn't work out for Nottingham Forest. So there's nothing to say that we can just replicate that. Like, Maguire comes and he's unbelievable. McTominay comes, he's unbelievable. Gallagher comes, he's unbelievable. So yeah, that's a worry. That's a huge worry for me, because I think we need to have some balance. And I think it's too easy to go, oh, well, if you sign from Europe, You know, they might not adapt to the league and all of that. You do your research. Scamacca is a quality player that I believe will suit this league, but we didn't do our research. Paqueta, didn't do our research, but it worked out in the end. You know, it's nothing to say that, oh, well, you sign a player from abroad, there's a good chance you know, they won't adapt. I think that's lazy. Having someone like a Steidten in there, where we have a clear vision and plan of how we want to play, which I still don't think we have. I think we're experimenting and dabbling, which is part of what pre-season's for, you know. But, you know, having that clear vision and then go and identify players that perfectly suit the way that you want to play, and looking at profiles and physicality and those attributes that you need to be good in this league, you can find that in other leagues. But, you know, we seem to be just focusing on, well, Moyes seems to be just focusing on the Premier League. So we seem to be at a bit of an impasse. And what I'm hearing is there's disagreements. That's what's slowing us down. Because it seems Sullivan and Steidten want to find these. And of course Sullivan wants it. Cheaper players, wow. Like, you can get Fofana for half the price. You can get Gallagher, bring him in. Some people have said that Steidten was brought in for next season. But what's the point then? You might as well have just given him the year off. Like, what's the point in him recommending? Imagine him, he's coming in recommending all these players, and it's just, no, I want Scott McTominay. No, I want fucking Maguire. It's got to be frustrating for him. And like I said, by next season, if Moyes does go, and like I said, he's in the last year of his contract, I think there's a good chance, unless we have an unbelievable season, you know, the new manager, what are we leaving him with? We're spending our entire budget on, you know, a handful of players. No, we are going to need fullbacks. You know, we probably will need a centre-back. You know, obviously, if we get Maguire, we won't. We might need a striker. If Scamacca does go, we don't know what's happening there. It's very concerning. But we've still got plenty of time in the window to sit there and, you know, try and hopefully get the right players in. Look, whoever we get in, I'm going to give a chance. Because I've said this. I don't care who it is. I don't care who you bring in. They better work. That's no excuses. Absolutely no excuses for Moyes, for Sullivan. Get it right this season. And, you know, James Ward-Prowse for 25 million, I think that's decent. That's decent value. I think he's a good player. And I think that's a good price for a player like him. And I think he can bring something to the team. And again, like, if we're talking about the midfield, look, right now we're trying to upgrade. If you're upgraded on Souček, you know, we can easily upgrade on Souček. And James Ward-Prowse is a massive upgrade on Souček. What we don't want to do is have the drop-off from Rice to... And there is obviously going to be a drop-off. We don't want that drop-off to be too drastic. Yeah, and at the same time, you know, obviously there is going to be a drop-off, but what we can then do is improve on the other positions that were weaker last season. I am concerned, and I'm trying to just, you know, be relaxed. I'm trying to not pay attention to all the stories and just be like, we'll wait and see. But I really wanted some players in for pre-season. I really wanted some players to come in, you know, even just one or two, to just come in, bed in, and be ready and, you know, raring to go for the start of the season. But it looks like that's not going to happen now. We're less than 3 weeks away till the season starts. No new players in, and we're players down. We're weaker. We're going into the new season not even just as strong, but weaker than last season. Well, Gallagher for 50 million, I would rather play Fornals there. I would much rather... You spend 50 million, or save that 50 million, play Fornals there and spend that 50 million elsewhere. That's what I would do. Thing is, Conor Gallagher is 23, so he's still young. Scott McTominay, I think he's about mid-20s. Thing is, Maguire is the big worry, because as much as I said he would suit us, he's 30 years old. So what longevity are you really getting for that money? And I know a lot of people talk about resale value. I'm not as concerned about resale value, because I don't sit there and think, oh, okay, I want to sign this player and hopefully we can sell him down the line. Maybe if they don't work out, you try and recoup a bit of money. But what I look at is, how long are we going to get at this player where he's at a £50 million level? Like, how long are they going to be? Is he going to be that top level. And yeah, players do play later into their career, the elite ones especially. Is Maguire going to give us, you know, a really good 4 years or the duration of his contract? I have doubts. People, and this has been people going to me, oh, but you know, you're doubting Maguire. What about Dawson? Dawson cost a fraction of what Man United want for Maguire. And I said, it's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous that they're charging these fees because you want to get rid of them. You're trying to rebuild. These are players you don't want, but you're charging exorbitant fees. That's why I would rather just move on. Just say, do you know what? That's how much you want. You keep them. Because no one else is going to pay those prices. So we'll go and find value elsewhere. We've just got a director of football who knows his shit. We'll be all right. It's just mad. Again, of course, it's not my money. So if we've got the money to spend 300 million, yeah, slap down 50 or whatever. But I don't think that's the case because we're on the FFP watch list. And I don't think we've got much more than the Rice money to spend. And it shouldn't be that way because we've got, you know, competition money, all of this. But maybe 150 mil or whatever. And like I said, 2 players, you eat up, you know, a third of that. And then you want to try and strengthen elsewhere. So we'll see. All the Arsenal fans banging on as well about, oh, see, this is what you get. This is what you get for, you know, charging all that money for Rice. You know, being greedy. This was what someone suggested to me. Being greedy. Charging too much money for Rice. They're trying to suggest that we haven't signed any players because we wanted too much money for Rice. Like we should have accepted less money. And we would have had all the players that we possibly could have wanted. Everything would have been rosy if we'd just taken less money for Rice. What a crazy, delusional approach. Like, how warped must your mind be if that's how you look at things? That's how you look at deals. Take less money than you could get because, you know, other teams will know you have a lot of money now and charge charge you more for the player. So if we would have took 50 mil, what, they would have asked for, you know, 25 million for Gallagher, yeah? That would be the asking price if we would have took half the money. It'd have been half the price. It makes no sense at all. These are just idiot Arsenal fans. Not all like that, but idiot Arsenal fans trying to insert themselves into our business, trying to take credit for our downfall, basically. Downfall is a strong word, but for our struggle to sign players. They want to feel vindicated. They want to feel like they got one over on us. You know, oh yeah, you may have took 105 million off us, 110 million, however it's rising to. But that's what you get now. That's what you get. We've done you over. Leave it out. Get over yourselves. Our business is concluded with you, Arsenal fans. You got your player, we got our money. That's the end of it. So stay out of our transfers. Seriously, I had to say that because they've been absolutely doing my head in. So with that said, look, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I haven't done so many transfer videos because I've barely been looking at it. I barely go on there and hate it. I've come to hate the transfer window because it's endless rumours. Oh, we're keeping tabs on this player. We're monitoring this player. We're thinking about making a bid. You know, we're opening talks and we're edging closer. All of this crap that's none of it's concrete. So I'm hoping by the end of the week we sign a player. By Monday at least. We sign a player, something concrete happens. Whether it's Ward-Prowse, whether it's Borges, whatever. Let's just be decisive. So leave a thumbs up. Let me know who you think we should sign. You know, how much you would spend on those players. Maguire, Gallagher, McTominay. Do you want those players? Do you think that we should spend that money? Or are there better alternatives elsewhere? One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.